Have you ever wanted something, but at the exact same time, not felt like doing what it takes to get it? I think that's one of the biggest struggles we'll ever face because success rarely asks us to do what's convenient. It always asks us to do what's necessary. And somewhere between what we want and what we feel like doing, there's a battle. I used to think that battle was something you eventually outgrew, that disciplined people simply didn't have it anymore. But I was wrong. And I realized that while watching my oldest daughter get ready to go out to the tennis courts. Because every week I'll take my daughters out to the tennis courts to practice. My oldest has a dream of becoming a really good tennis player. She wants to improve, she wants to compete, and she really likes seeing herself get better. When she makes a shot today that she couldn't make 6 months ago, you can see the excitement on her face. She loves seeing the progress. But almost every time it's time to leave for practice, there's a battle. She'll move a little slower getting ready. She'll sigh. Sometimes she'll sit in the backseat of the car with her face planted in her hands. Other times she'll simply say, "Dad, I don't feel like going today." So I always ask her the same question. Do you still want to become a better tennis player? And without hesitation, yes, Dad. Do you still want to get stronger? Yes, Dad. Do you still want to improve? Yes. She already understands something that many adults struggle to accept. She knows she can't have it both ways. She can't skip today's work and expect tomorrow's results. She knows that, but knowing it doesn't make the battle disappear, right? Every practice, the same conversation shows up. And then one day, while I was encouraging her to get in the car, I had a realization that honestly made me stop for a second. I wasn't just coaching my daughter. I was watching myself, because the truth is I have mornings where I don't feel like working out, days where I don't feel like recording a video, moments where I don't feel like tackling the hardest thing on my calendar. The only difference between me and my daughter is that my excuses sound more mature. She says, "I don't want to." I say, "I've had a long day. I'll do it tomorrow. I deserve a break. I'll be more productive this weekend." Different words, same battle, but then something started changing. As the weeks went by, she became faster, her footwork improved, balls she used to miss, she was now returning with confidence. She started winning points she would have lost just a few months earlier, and I noticed something. She still didn't always feel like going, but now she didn't question it as much. And it wasn't because practice got easier, but it was because she'd seen what practice produced. She had proof that pushing through today's discomfort created tomorrow's confidence. And that's when it finally clicked for me. The goal isn't to stop feeling resistance. The goal is to stop letting that resistance make your decisions. And that's why the first thing we need to internalize is that we have to stop waiting for the feeling to change. That story taught me something I'll probably never forget. The battle isn't against the workout or against the project I'm working on or against the hard conversation. The battle is against the belief that once I feel different, then I'll take action. Think about how many times we've all said things like, "I'll work out when I have more energy. I'll start the business when life slows down. I'll record the video when I'm more confident. I'll have the conversation with that person when the timing feels right." We convince ourselves that our feelings have to change before our actions can. But that's almost never how life works. My daughter doesn't suddenly become excited halfway through putting on her tennis shoes. She starts because we've already decided that practice matters. And almost every single time, by the end of practice, she's laughing, she's smiling, she's proud of herself. That feeling she was waiting for showed up after she already started moving. I realized that's exactly how my life works too. I've never regretted going to the gym. I've regretted skipping it. I've never regretted recording a video. I've regretted skipping to record one. And I've never regretted tackling the difficult project first, but I've regretted spending all day avoiding it. The feeling almost always follows the action. It's not the other way around. So I stopped asking myself, do I feel like doing this? And instead I asked, will future Dion be glad I did this? Because today's feelings disappear. Tomorrow's results don't. Lesson 2 is to make fewer decisions. Here's something I noticed about my daughter. Every practice she's trying to decide, do I want to go today? But imagine if every morning I ask myself, Do I feel like brushing my teeth? Do I feel like going to work? Do I feel like stopping at red lights? That sounds ridiculous. Why? Because those decisions have already been made. I don't negotiate them anymore, right? And then when I realized that I was treating the most important things in my life differently. Every morning I'd wake up and reopen decisions I already made. Should I work out? Should I write content? Should I record a video? Should I read? Every day, the same courtroom, the same debate, the same negotiation. No wonder I was mentally exhausted. And that's why I created a rule that once I've decided something is a part of the person I want to become, I don't vote on it anymore. I don't wake up asking, do I feel like training? I've already answered that question months ago. Now I simply execute. That one shift eliminated so much mental fatigue because discipline isn't making the right decision every day. It's making the important decision once and refusing to renegotiate it tomorrow. Which takes us right into the third thing I learned, which was to stop letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. And this is the lesson that I hope my daughters remember long after they finish playing tennis, because this isn't about sports. It's about life. One practice lasts 2+ hours, but the habits of following through last forever. There are going to be mornings where they don't feel like studying. They don't want to go to work, conversations they don't want to have, responsibilities they don't feel like carrying. And someday they'll have families, a business, bills, dreams, goals, just like us. And they'll discover what we've already discovered. That voice never completely goes away. It still shows up for me. It still whispers, tomorrow, later, you've earned a break, not today. The difference now is I recognize whose voice it is. It's not the voice of my future. It's the voice of my comfort. Comfort has one job, to keep me exactly where I am. Growth has a different job, and that's to call me somewhere I've never been. And those two voices will always disagree. The question isn't whether you'll hear them. The question is, which one gets your vote? Because every decision you're making today is casting a vote for the person you'll become tomorrow. And that's why I will not let temporary feelings make permanent decisions for me, because my feelings change, but my character shouldn't. And here's the funny part. People sometimes assume disciplined people wake up excited to do hard things. And I really wish that were true. I still have mornings where I'd rather stay in bed, sit and scroll on my phone over having to do work. I still have moments where I'd rather take the easier path. The difference isn't that I don't feel those things. The difference is I've stopped treating those feelings like instructions. I acknowledge them, then I move anyway. Because I found out through those experiences that discipline isn't the absence of resistance. It's acting in spite of it. And every single time you do, you're teaching yourself something. You're teaching yourself, I'm someone who follows through. And that's how confidence is built. Not by thinking differently, but by collecting evidence. One decision at a time, one tennis practice, one workout, one piece of content, one promise, one day at a time. So let me leave you with the same question I asked my daughter. What do you really want? Not what do you feel like today, but what do you actually want? Because once you know the answer, the next question becomes simple. Does today's decisions move you closer to what you want or farther away? And the next time that voice says, not today, pause for a second, smile, because now you'll recognize it. And that's not your future talking. That's your comfort trying to protect itself. Thank it for its opinion and keep moving, because the life you say you want has always been waiting on the other side of today's discomfort. But here's something I've also learned, just being honest. Winning the battle with yourself doesn't guarantee that you'll make progress, because even after you've decided to do the work, there's another challenge waiting for you. And that's protecting your attention long enough to actually get it done. If you're a parent, especially if you have kids at home, that can feel almost impossible at times, which is exactly what I spoke about in my last video. The exact mindset shift that completely changed how I get deep focused work done without sacrificing time with my family. If you like the content in this video, there's lots more coming. Subscribe to Something Real and to be one of the first 100 subscribers of this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then,